Hello and welcome everyone to Sir Logus World. This is an update video for the Village and Pillage update, or Minecraft 1.14 for Java. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, Parker, you ready?
Hoi. Wow.
Okay, so as you guys know, it's the Village and Pillage update, so there are huge new updates to villagers, as well as adding a whole raid system with pillagers. But first off, let's talk about the changes to the villagers. So the first big change is that villagers are now tied to a workstation. The villager type will be dependent on if there is a workspace or a workbench, as well as a bed available. So you need a bed, a workstation, and the villagers will keep on working. From there, and one thing I should mention, there's also these trading villagers with the trading llamas. They will wander around, they'll spawn randomly in the map, and they'll be able to make some trades with you. They also go invisible at night, which is pretty interesting. Anyway, these are the... oh, looks like I need to spawn some new ones back in. This is a Ravager. It's a bull-like creature, and then you have the pillagers, and they have crossbows, and these guys will come in and raid villages with some of the other illagers that are already in the game. Some of the new creatures, we have some foxes, and they go ahead and eat sweet berries off of the berry bushes, as well as pandas that are spawned into the jungle with bamboo forests. We have a new type of light source, which is the fire. And the fires are really cool. Like on top of the hay bale, you can see that it makes a smoke signal, but they can also be unlit, or even when they're lit, they don't have fire spread, which is awesome. So you can go ahead and put them in a little wood build, and you won't have any major issues with the entire place burning down. Over here, we have some of the new crafting, or not crafting, but new building blocks. One of them is scaffolding. Scaffolding I haven't quite figured out, but it does have some pretty interesting properties. That you can just right click and it will build on up. When you break the bottom one, it will all break down. It's a pretty cool build, and I think it's really going to help with doing some of those builds instead of needing to do dirt. You know, it will be a faster way to clean things up. Over here we have, these are going to be new stairs and slab types. You have stone, diorite, andesite, granite, mossy stone brick, and cobblestone, smooth and red sandstone. The way that you go ahead and get the smooth sandstone I'll talk about in a little bit. Then you also have smooth quartz, red nether, and end brick. So how you get the smooth sandstone is you take normal sandstone. Give me a second to find that. And then let's see, where's the... Sorry, I'm trying to find a dispenser. I'm not really great at creative because I normally only play survival, but I was just playing creative to get this video set up for you guys. So let's go ahead and find... I guess I'll go ahead and find the coal real quick, wherever that's at. Yeah, I really don't know these menus very well, guys. I'm sorry about this. Okay, there's a furnace. Okay, so we have that. Now if we go ahead and find some of the coal. Okay, and so it's actually really easy to get the smooth sandstone. You just put down a furnace. You go ahead and put in your sandstone, your piece of coal, and it will take the normal amount of time to cook. And when it's done, you will have a smooth sandstone. It just has a smoother texture to it. It actually looks pretty nice. And I think it will be another awesome block to use in buildings. Anyway, as we move on, there's also new types of walls. Again, there's diorite, andesite, granite, there's brick walls, and then of course the stone brick, sandstone, prismarine, nether bricks, and then of course the end stone. And I am really excited about these new blocks, you guys. I feel like this is really going to make it easier to do not only building, but also to do some of the, you know, some awesome detailing. As well, some of the changes in villagers, you can see that there's a new UI with the trades. And these villagers, they actually have a leveling up system now. So they start out a novice and go all the way up to expert or master. And you just do that by making trades with them. So the more that you trade with them, the more options will be unlocked, as well as the changing color of their belt buckle. So their belt buckle will have a pretty drastic change to it. So let's go ahead and we'll do a few example trades so you can kind of see what this new villager trading is going to look like. So if I head on over here and let's go ahead and make a trade, we'll see what this guy has. One of the other things that I should probably point out is you can see that he came over and found a workstation and made his own job here. So anyway, so if we go ahead and make a trade with this guy, you can see that he has something out that he's offering. You can go ahead and buy it. Let's see if he'll go ahead and refresh. We might have to actually sell him something to get him to go ahead and refresh his trades. Let me go ahead and I'll go ahead and look for some clay real quick. There we go. So go ahead and sell him some clay and see how he does. As you can see, he also just ranked up right there. Let's go ahead and get some more clay and we can keep on making some trades with him. He's now an apprentice. He's got some stone that you can trade for emeralds. That's going to be an interesting one just because of some of the new changes that they made to TNT, which I'll go ahead and talk about in a little bit as well. But I think that stone is going to be a lot easier to obtain in the near future. So let's go ahead and do some stone trades with him. Oops. Okay, he's locked out of that. He's up to journeyman now. If we go ahead, we'll buy some other random stuff from him. Let's see, is he still okay? So he's now up to expert, but he's still got some of the trades blocked out. It looks like it added in some types of terracotta. Then if we go ahead and let's buy some terracotta, and he is now all the way leveled up on expert. Let's go ahead. Okay, looks like he's not getting any higher. But as you guys can see, his belt buckle is now diamond. Oh, it looks like he's at master now and he offers quartz. So the belt buckle diamond, that should be his highest level. You can see the guy next to him is still only a little iron buckle. But anyway, so that's the new trading system. If you add in more beds, then more villagers will appear. So, or it will allow them to breed, I guess. So if we go ahead and let's give you a little example of that real quick. So if I go ahead and spawn in a villager, you'll see he should choose a bed and an occupation here pretty quick. It looks like he chose, you know, almost immediately. Like that was really fast. So anyway, some awesome new mechanics there. There's also some other changes to cats and the way that villagers gather. So first off, villagers now gather at these bells. So they have a time in the day where they work, and then later in the evening, then they'll go gather in the middle of the square to gossip. And then at nighttime, they'll actually go and sleep in their beds. Cats, there were some cats around here. Looks like they might have despawned. Yeah, I am not seeing any. There were a couple of new kinds of cats. So what they did is they added in 8 different new skins for cats from the community, like ones that the community had voted on. And you can now find stray cats around villages. They will despawn if you don't tame them. So let's go ahead and we'll just see if we can get some of those new skins to pop up so you guys can see what they look like. Some of them are actually pretty cool. Like I like, Let's see, we have some white ones. You guys can probably notice the calico ones look pretty cool. We have, yeah, there's just a large variety of cat skins now. Anyway, so pretty cool stuff. The cats, some of the other changes that they added in is that they can also, there's a chance that they'll give you a gift. So the gift happens when you sleep in your bed at night and the cat comes and sleeps on you, basically. The things that they can give you are string, raw chicken, a feather, rabbit hide, rabbit's foot, rotten flesh, or phantom membranes. And cats also now scare phantoms. And so if you don't really like to go out at night when there's phantoms, or you don't like to sleep but you don't like to deal with the phantoms, and you can now just have a cat come around with you, and that will help you out there. One of the other things that they added in is that they now have crossbows with new enchantments for the crossbows, as well as, oh, looks like the cat did give me a feather. I didn't see that it had given me a gift earlier, but it looks like it was over here. Anyway, so there's some new changes to dyes. They added in some new flowers, so now instead of needing lapis lazuli or bone meal or ink sacs, you can now use different flowers to get those same dyes. So you have the cornflower, lily of the valley, or the wither rose. The wither rose, this black one, is going to be the hardest to get. The other ones you can use a flower farm. The lily of the valley only pops up when a wither kills a mob. Let me move this cat off and I'll show you. There are now also suspicious stews, and the suspicious stews is just a wood bowl with a red and brown mushroom, and then you can add any kind of flour. The different flours will give you different effects on the suspicious stew. So I'll go over those real quick. Oxeye daisies give you regeneration. Cornflower gives you jump boost. Lily of the Valley gives you a poison effect. Wither Rose is a wither effect. Tulip is weakness. Azure Bluette is blindness. Allium is fire resistance. Blue Orchid is saturation. Poppy is speed. And Dandelion is also saturation. So if I go ahead and try the Lily of the Valley, it should give me a poison effect. Okay, looks like I can actually eat this in creative, so, but it should give you a poison effect, and each one of those stews has a different thing just based on the flour that you add. Another thing that you can do to get the mushrooms easy is, if you guys remember, you can just set up a thing of 4 spruce saplings all together, and when they grow into a large tree, then it will create some podzol underneath. This isn't going to do anything just because I am in creative mode. So, but normally if you do have problems in survival, you can go up to a higher elevation. Sometimes that makes a difference, like if you go above like 65 or so, and try it up there, and you should be able to grow a large tree. But anyway, it will grow a really large spruce tree. Podzol will be underneath. You can then use the podzol to grow your brown or red mushrooms underneath, even in the daytime. And then it's just a matter of, here, well, how about I show you real quick. Let's go ahead and I'm going to hurry and grab some podzol. Let's see if I can find that real quick. Okay, and then if we grab some mushrooms, just so I can give you an example of this real quick. So with the podzol, you can put it down, put on a mushroom, and you bone mill it, and you will have a mushroom even in the daytime. And that's a really easy thing to do. Now, if I go ahead and talk to you guys about one of the things that you can now do with TNT, is that TNT used to destroy all of, well, not all of it, but a good portion of the blocks around it. And so it wasn't really worth to use like TNT farming because it was very specific. But now you can use TNT and it will drop all of the items. So like if I go ahead and blow up this mushroom stalk, then you'll be able to see that it actually drops like all of the dirt, and then there's a good amount of the brown mushrooms thrown in from the mushroom stalks. So even if you wanted to make a mushroom farm or something like that, or tree farms, whatever you wanted, you can now do that with TNT. So I would recommend that maybe look into a TNT duplicator, or just look into a way that you can set up to, use TNT to start mining in certain areas. Because I really think that TNT is gonna, like, the fact that it now drops all the blocks has made it a lot more useful. So with the villagers having places that they can go, you can now build like actual cities for the villagers. So this, for example, this area that I was working on was a Aztec Mayan kinda ruins area. And it feels pretty empty when I am the only one here. But one of the things that you'll be able to do is you'll be able to get villagers to where they have their beds and workstations and stuff. And so instead of having them in a specific villager trading area, then you can let them wander around. They'll be able to have a little more space. So let's go ahead and show you some of the other areas that you can try out. So one of the other things that I've thought about doing is a giant tree city. Like maybe if you wanted to make it like some kind of Keebler elf thing where they're baking cookies inside the tree, but you can do that kind of thing. Or another possibility is to do, something like a western town. This town, of course, is still a little bit hostile. It's unfinished. So, but there's definitely things that you could do with places like this, once you get it all lit up, and you can be able to build up some defenses from the hostile mobs. But now if we go ahead and into the final area, the place that I have been building and have been really happy about with the villager update is this castle town here. And as you can see, I have a lot of buildings built. I've talked about this a little bit in my other videos. But being able to have the workstation so that villagers kind of sort themselves out, I feel like it's almost going to feel a little bit like Oblivion or one of those kind of games, where they have their schedule throughout the day where you can go to their shops and trades with them. And it won't be necessary anymore to just kind of do this kind of thing to villagers, where you stick them down in a hole. This is an iron farm, of course, and this is going to be completely useless in the near future. But the other changes that are going to happen with all the villagers, I am really excited for. So I hope you guys are excited for this new update that's coming out soon, and I will see you guys next time.